Imagine a palace so grand, its golden gates sparkle in the sunlight, and its gardens are filled with singing birds and the sweet scent of flowers. Welcome to the kingdom of Persia. But wait, what's that? Behind the fancy walls, a secret is building up that's going to change everything. But we begin this tale in the humble home of Esther, a young Jewish girl, and her cousin Mordecai. After Esther's parents had died, Mordecai adopted her and raised her as his own daughter. Esther sits across from Mordecai, laughter echoing through the room. After a brief laugh, Mordecai reminds Esther, "Remember, kindness is your strength." Esther listens carefully, her kind smile showing that she understands and accepts his deep wisdom. Inside the Persian palace, King Xerxes, who loved parties, parades, and peacocks, was throwing a big party that was to last for weeks. While everyone is having fun, a quiet rebellion is starting. Queen Vashti is refusing to dance for the king. In the fancy throne room, King Xerxes sits heavily on his throne, his face showing clear signs of unhappiness. He wanted to display her beauty before the guests. On the advice of his counselors, the king removes Queen Vashti from her position and declares, "I need a new queen." King Xerxes demands a beauty pageant, summoning all land's beauties. Esther watches as the messengers make announcements below. Her heart races with uncertainty. Mordecai comforts Esther and promises her that he is there for her.
Trust God, Esther. You are special.
Esther steps into the women's quarters of the Persian palace, her face showing a mix of nervousness and determination. The room buzzes with energy from many young women, all trying to get attention. Each woman dreams of being chosen as the new queen. Even with all the fancy treatment, Esther's humble nature stands out. Her kindness shines brightly. After months of preparation, Esther steps into the throne room to be presented to King Xerxes. King Xerxes sits on his throne, watching Esther with increasing curiosity. King Xerxes is fascinated by Esther's kind and gentle nature. King Xerxes crowns Esther and made her his queen. A hint of worry appears on Esther's face as she remembers the secret she holds, her Jewish identity hidden behind her royal image. Esther and Mordecai stroll through the palace gardens. Mordecai speaks gently but urgently, saying, "Keep your secret for now, Esther. It's to keep you safe." Near the strong palace gates, Mordecai hides a little behind a pillar. He listens carefully, trying to catch the quiet, secretive whispers of two officers of the king. The officers were discussing a dangerous plan to kill King Xerxes. Mordecai got a message to Queen Esther about this danger. Queen Esther quickly warns King Xerxes about the danger and gives credit to Mordecai for his role in uncovering it. King Xerxes pays close attention, and his expression changes from curiosity to serious worry. The report was investigated and found to be true. All of this was written down in the annals while the king was present. After these events, King Xerxes gave Haman a special honor, placing him above all the other nobles. In the big throne room, Haman walks around proudly, enjoying how the courtiers bow to him. Courtiers bowed deeply before Haman and lowered their faces in respect. But Mordecai refused to bow down to Haman. Haman frowns because he sees Mordecai not showing any respect. In his home, Haman looks very angry and starts walking back and forth nervously. Mordecai refuses to bow. "I'll get rid of him and all his people." Haman tells King Xerxes that the Jews don't follow the rules and are different from everyone else, and we should get rid of them. King Xerxes listens and nods slowly, not really understanding how serious Haman's words are. In the lively streets of Susa, royal scribes walk with serious faces, focused on their important tasks. At every corner, they open scrolls to announce Haman's bad orders, which was to get rid of all Jews on the 13th day of the 12th month. The Jewish people come together, their faces showing fear and shock at what is happening. Fear and sadness spread through the community as Haman's plan is uncovered. Inside Esther's room, a message comes from Mordecai, asking for help, and his urgent words fill the space.
You must help. Maybe you are queen for just this moment.
Esther stands still with fear as she begins to understand the importance of his words.
But everyone knows that if anyone goes to the king without being called, there is but one law to be put to death, except when the king holds out the golden scepter.
Mordecai told Esther, "Do not think to yourself that in the king's palace you will escape any more than all the other Jew." Esther tells Mordecai, "Go, gather all the Jews in Susa and hold a fast 3 days. I will also fast as you do." In the calm of her room, Esther kneels alone, softly lit by the warm glow of a candle. Esther goes to the balcony to quietly reflect and see the moon.
Standing here behind these walls, wondering if I'll rise or fall. Crown upon my head, but fear inside, hiding who I am, but I can't hide. There's a reason, there's a plan, bigger than all I understand. Is this why I'm here? Is this why I'm here? Was I made for such a time? Such a time as this? Was I born for such a time? Such a time as this? People crying out in pain, while I sit here safe again. But my heart won't let me stay this way. Something's got to change today. There's a reason, there's a plan, bigger than all I understand. Is this why I'm here? Is this why I'm here? Was I made for such a time? Such a time as this? Was I born for such a time? Such a time as this? If I perish, I perish, but I won't stay silent. If I perish, I perish, but I must be brave. I will rise, I will stand, I will speak, I will go. Was I made for such a time? Such a time as this? Was I born for such a time? Such a time as this? Why I'm here? This is why I'm here. This is why. This is why I'm here.
I will go to the king. If I perish, I perish.
In the grand throne room of the Persian palace, Esther steps in and walks towards the king. The king looks up from his throne, surprised and curious when he sees Esther come in unexpectedly. All eyes are on Esther. With a wave of his golden scepter, the king gestures to Esther, showing that he welcomes her. Esther walks toward the throne, her heart racing with both hope and nervousness as she gets closer to the king. In a moment of great importance, Esther reaches out to touch the golden scepter, changing her destiny and the course of history.
What do you wish, Queen Esther?
I want to invite the king and Haman to a special banquet, and then I will tell you my request.
The banquet hall brightens with candlelight, and the soft sounds of excitement as the first feast begins. Esther makes her way through the room with a calm smile. Haman enjoys what he thinks is the king's favor, feeling increasingly proud with each moment that goes by. The king asked Esther about her wish, and she requested another banquet for the following day. He runs home excitedly to tell his wife Zeresh of his special dinner. He was the only invited guest with the king and queen.
Yes, my husband, everyone looks up to you. Your success is greater than ever.
But there's still a problem. That Mordecai. He sits at the gate and won't show me any respect. All my power and influence mean nothing as long as he keeps defying me.
Let a gallows be made, and in the morning tell the king to have Mordecai hanged upon it.
In the middle of the night, the king tosses and turns in his bed. Unable to sleep, he asks for the royal records to be read. It was written that Mordecai had saved the king from the dangerous plot against the king. The king asked, "Has this hero been rewarded?" The answer hangs heavily in the air. No. His face hardens, eyes fixed forward. Haman came to the court wanting to speak to the king about having Mordecai hanged. Before Haman could ask, King Xerxes asked, "What should I do for someone I want to honor?" Believing the honor was for himself, Haman suggested royal robes and a parade. Great idea. Go do all that for Mordecai. Haman stumbles back in shock. Haman follows the king's orders, even though he does not want to. The banquet hall shines, alive with light and the soft buzz of nobles. The second banquet takes place, grander than the first, showcasing the splendor of royal luxury. The king sits upon his throne, his attention solely on Esther.
What is your wish, my queen?
The room goes quiet, and everyone looks at Esther as she gets ready to speak.
There is someone who wants to destroy me and my people.
The king's face quickly went from being happy to a look of surprise and shock. The silence lasts a long time as the king struggles to understand the importance of Esther's words.
Who would dare do so?
It is him, this wicked Haman.
Haman is in shock. The king storms out of the palace, his anger visible and his face twisted in rage. Haman falls to the ground at Esther's feet, completely scared and feeling helpless. Haman begs for mercy. The king enters the palace gardens and becomes angry seeing Haman too close to the queen. The king says, "Haman, you will face the results of your own bad plan." The guards took him to the gallows. The king, still a bit shaken, turns to Esther and Mordecai, his face showing both relief and determination. The king points decisively at a scribe, signaling that an important decree is about to be made. With firm determination, the king announces, "A new decree will be written." The king's voice is strong as he says, "Esther, your people are now allowed to defend themselves." The king makes the decree official, giving Esther's people the right to protect themselves against anyone who tries to hurt them. The streets of Susa come alive with colorful celebrations, filled with the happy gatherings of the Jewish people. Feasts are abundant, music plays in the air, and laughter rings through the streets as the community celebrates in a time of joy. In the midst of the celebration, Mordecai was given much respect and honor. Sunlight brightens Esther's room, making the dust particles look like sparkling stars. Esther and Mordecai, their faces shining with happiness, share a moment of true joy together. Laughter fills the room as Esther and Mordecai start to dance, moving lightly and happily. Their dance is a lively celebration of their hard-earned victory, showing their strong spirits. Courage, faith, and love will always light the way. Esther's story teaches us several important lessons. 1. Courage in the face of fear. Esther showed that true bravery is not the absence of fear, but the willingness to act despite it. 2. The importance of standing up against injustice. We should not remain silent in the face of wrongdoing, but stand up for justice, especially for those who cannot defend themselves. 3. The value of wisdom and patience. Thoughtful planning, patience, and timing can be crucial for success, especially in sensitive situations. 4. The power of faith and community support. Seeking support and guidance from others and having faith can provide courage and clarity in difficult times. 5. Using influence for good. Whatever influence or resources we have, we should use them responsibly to help others and make a difference. Like Esther, we may find ourselves in moments where our actions could make a difference. Her story encourages us to be brave and to remember that we all have the potential to make an impact. Stay tuned for some additional bloopers. The king's message reached all the way to China. Is this a dinosaur bone? Teleported to modern day. Many arms and hands. Accelerated aging. Haman became a wreck. Thank you for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Be blessed.